Never a bad time. Well, let's do it now. Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam and I'm outside. I've had a lot of people ask me, forest bathing, how much is there to it? Is this something I can do? Absolutely. And yeah, the difference is forest bathing, or Shinrin Yoku, would be part of an individual's efforts to fill their nature prescription on their own, in their own pace, in their own space, in their own time. Different than forest therapy, which is what I do with clients, with guests, and that's a guided experience. The difference is that the guide can hold expectations, curriculum, hold the vessel for safety and distance and time, allow the participants to become a little more deeply immersed. So when you're doing it by yourself, you're still in your own head, right? So subconsciously, you can only go so deep. With a little practice though, oh yeah, it'll make a difference, right? So here we go. Once you're in your space, you have time to adjust, call it a mental and emotional, physical stretch, all right? You don't do it right out of the parking lot. So, I've had time. I'm about halfway through, a couple kilometers into my afternoon walk with the Indiana Bones. I'll find a space. And I want to make sure that I've got the ability to sit or stand. And when I'm out here on the ice, and I'll go through my 5 senses. So I'll start just prepping with some breath work. I'll do some box breathing. All right, so that's inhalation through the nose with my eyes closed. Of course, everything done through eyes closed. Inhalation for a 4 count. Hold for a 4 count. Complete deep exhale with a 4 count. Hold at the bottom for 4 before my next inhalation. I'll go through that 4-4-4 cycle 4 or 5 times. Continue with my eyes closed and continuing my breath work. But now I'm going to focus on what I hear. And what I want to do is be mindful of that. What are the sounds coming to me from farthest away? All right, so maybe it's the wind stretching across the treetops. Maybe it's the snowmobiler on a distant trail, jet going overhead. Maybe it's a distant crow. Once I spend a couple breaths doing that, a couple moments, if you will, what sounds are near me? Now, this might be the chickadee overhead. It might be Indiana there playing with a stick. Again, do that for about the same amount of time. And then move on to what sounds are nearest to me. Now, that might be my own breath, might be my own heartbeat. It might be how the wind is actually whistling through my beard. All right, just right on me, right near me, something I could touch that close. With my eyes closed, continuing to breathe deeply, I'm then going to move on to what I can smell. So all of my inhalations are a little more focused. I might draw them in, but I'm going to be mindful and focused on what it is I'm smelling. Again, what might those smells be carried on the wind from farther away? They might be the smells of the warm pines and the warm cedars on this warmish afternoon breeze. Maybe it's the smell of the water. And believe it or not, we can actually start to smell the smell of warmth in the earth. All right, and then move on to what smells are nearest to me. Maybe there's smells on me. Maybe it's me. All right, so maybe it's my breath. Maybe it's Indiana, not so far away. Maybe it's the smell, particularly of the bark of the tree I'm leaning up against or touching, or maybe the mud that I'm standing in. With my eyes closed, continuing to breathe deeply, I'll move on to my next sense. All right, what is it that I can touch? And on a day like today, I'm going to be focusing on my face, right? What can I feel on my face? If I've got exposed hands, I do right now, but right? The back of my hand, a little more sensitive than my palm. So with the back of my hand exposed and up, again, with my eyes closed, breathing deeply, feeling the wind move across the hairs on the back of my hand, feeling on the back of my neck, the warmth on one side of my face, the coolness on the other, really focusing on that sense of touch. If I am leaning against a tree near a tree, that bark, that texture, that warmth, that coolness, things I can touch. And then with my eyes closed and still breathing deeply, my next couple of inhalations I'll try and do through my mouth, because with my tongue slightly exposed, I'll want to see what I can taste. Is there a taste on the wind? Again, is it something coming off the trees? Is it something coming up off the earth? Is it something off the water? All right, there are some tastes in the air, or maybe it's just a taste that's already in my mouth, but I'm going to try and pay particular attention. Now, I have a wealth of experience of what it is that's in nature, so often with my eyes closed, I'm pretty safe knowing what the bark is, the tree. Maybe I brought something with me, so maybe I'll chew on some pine leaves or some cedar that's right within my reach, so I don't have to open my eyes. So with my eyes closed, breathing deeply, I'm now going to move on to my last sensory. So I like, personally, this is one of the practices I do. I like to frame. So put my hands on either side of my face and I'll look up. And when I'm ready, I'll open my eyes. And what I've done is I've framed it. And with my vision slightly up, after having my eyes closed, what might be about 15 minutes now, just take a time to adjust. Notice the fractals, the contrasts, light and dark shades, and you will never experience a whole variety of greens. It's the clouds, it's the movements. And now that my eyes are open and I'm continuing to breathe, I've had a chance to connect with myself, leaving all other thoughts. And that is mindfulness, being present. But the exercise of being mindful and focused, going through those 5 senses, is the benchmark. At this point, my heart rhythms, my blood pressure, all of those have been reset. And I've had a chance now to move on to my actual walk. And from there on in, the invitations will be catered for the client needs. So for me personally, I'm a water guy. I'm going to find water, even if it's in this solid or viscous state. I want to feel it. It's got its own energy, right? I might get a little creative, start to collect and find those tokens and start to leave them in certain places along my daily walk. And you know what? After a year, you'd be amazed at the variety of species and things that catch your eye for one reason or another, catch your texture, if that's what you're into, and you start to form a mandala, all right, a pattern, or maybe it's an altar of some kind to the forest, but you're leaving that collection someplace and you're adding to it. And if someone else finds it, it'll be a welcoming curiosity for those people as well. So I like to do something creative. And a nice way to finish your walk is to incorporate a sit spot. So different than where you stop to have your sensory experience, where you open yourself to being mindful and present. Just sit with the tree. Again, focus on your breath work, but this time with your eyes open, and you'll be amazed at how just that still is, right? And again, your brain subconsciously is going to put your own being, physically, mentally, emotionally, in perspective, where it takes place in the universe. So that in and of itself is the gist of a forest bathing experience. Go through a sensory, continue your walk, being guided by pleasure, find water, all right? Be creative. Sit still, find a friend in a tree. And sometimes that is, you'll know it when you find it, right? Spend some time with that tree. Wonder at how much carbon it's sequestering its entire life, how much oxygen it's producing, how it's been fighting off disease and pests and molds and fungus, and all the creatures that have scaled its bark, gone on its branches, and how it's there for you in this moment, and how special that is. Have a bond, have a conversation. It'll feel your warmth, it knows you're there, all right? Hope that's helpful. It's practice, it takes work, and you'll feel the benefits. Change your life. Thanks for watching. Go outside, go for a walk. Thanks, bye-bye.